The U.S. Small Business Administration reports that most microbusinesses require approximately $3,000 to get off the ground and to begin doing business. Meanwhile, the SBA also reports that most home-based businesses require anywhere from $2,000 to $5,000 to get off the ground. No matter what type of business you want to start and sink your teeth into, financing and securing the necessary capital is an essential component to beginning any type of business. LaJuan Hughes knows all about building business capital and securing financing. As an entrepreneur himself, he works to help aspiring and new entrepreneurs get access to massive capital and grow their business through his Omni growth strategy. He joined me this week to have a conversation about building business credit, securing financing, creating a successful blueprint to start a business, and so much more. I'm Kevin McShann. Let's have this conversation. Fantastic, LaJuan. Well, if you're ready, I'll take a moment to welcome you to the program, and I'm super excited to talk to you all about entrepreneurship, my friend. It's great to see you, and thank you very much for being here.
Absolutely. Excited to be here as well. Appreciate you, Kevin.
Absolutely. So, LaJuan, when we look at entrepreneurship and your role in it, buddy, I'm fascinated for you to tell me, what do you as a successful entrepreneur, when you think of that definition, what do you think of, buddy?
Yeah. So for me, I think success in entrepreneurship, it can mean a multitude of things for different people. Obviously, it's a subjective thing. But for me personally, I think, success is being able to provide for your family, also being able to impact the people's lives, whether you have customers, clients, whatever that field is that you're in, being able to impact people's lives and be able to help people, reach their goals and success. Again, whatever, doesn't matter if you're a service-based business or e-commerce, whatever business that you have, your number one goal should be to impact the lives of your customers and clients.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know that you're currently working with entrepreneurs and content creators and teaching them how to work to ethically hack the big banks in order for them to leverage their credit to grow and scale their businesses. So I'm wondering if you can tell me about all the great work that you do.
Yeah, absolutely. Appreciate that. And so what I do is I help new and existing business owners that are looking to either start or scale. I help them get capital for their business in the form of business credit, business capital, business credit cards to be exact.
Yeah, absolutely. And LaJuan, tell me, what do you think of the term business diversity? What do you think of, Bonnie?
Yeah, so business diversity, I think it's very important. It's something that's always an ongoing conversation, but I think it's very important, especially in this climate that we're in right now, that everybody has an opportunity, no matter. It shouldn't be a skin color type of thing, but or ethnicity or wherever side of the planet that you're on or from, that shouldn't matter. It should be what type of services, what type of value are you providing to a potential client or customer.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know that you've been featured in some major publications like the Digital Journal and Market Watch. So tell me, how have you used the increased exposure to sort of elevate your profile and make a difference, buddy?
Yeah, so for me, I think it's just being able to get in front of more people. It's so many people, Kevin, that need this particular type of thing that we teach here, as far as being able to get business capital. A lot of people have great, phenomenal ideas on how to start a business, or a particular line of business that they want to go into, but the number one thing that's holding people back is funds, it's capital. So I'm in a position, as well as my team, to actually help people and educate them on getting business capital, and it does first start with leveraging your personal credit.
Yeah, absolutely. And LaJuan, as a person of color and a successful entrepreneur, I'm curious to get your perspective on how you think African American entrepreneurs can succeed in today's business climate.
I think in today's climate, and that's a good question, Kevin. I think in today's climate, it really, in my opinion, doesn't matter, just because that we're in a time where, like, you can blow up in so many different ways. Anybody can find their lane in this online market space that we currently live in. We have people that are generating income for themselves in a multitude of ways. Content creation, you got the TikTok people, the YouTubers, content creators, all this type of stuff. And then, you transition to these different online businesses, and there's so many, right? There's so many avenues for you to be able to either start a side hustle, or, go into a full throttle business. So I think we're in an impeccable time in the history of the world, where any and everybody has an opportunity to go ahead and start something, and be able to make a honest living for themselves.
Yeah, and when we talk about leveraging assets and capital in business, how do you think we do that effectively?
Yeah, so how you do it effectively is leveraging your personal credit. So a lot of people, they're so used to trying to go get business loans, used to trying to get net 30s, net 60s, looking for these different vendors, also trying to get angel investors, and all these type of peer-to-peer lending programs that are available in today's time, right? And also a big common one is people trying to use their own personal funds. So maybe they're trying to use their personal savings to start their business, or they're pulling money out of a 401k. Or the worst one that I always see a lot is people trying to use their personal credit cards and stuff like that to fund their business. And this is honestly one of the worst ways to do it. And I always encourage people, the first thing we do in my mentorship program is we actually help people, first learn to leverage their personal credit. And you have to do that in order to even start talking about business credit. So that's the number one thing, Kevin, is to, educate people on how important your personal credit is, and how to actually use credit cards the proper way.
Yeah, absolutely. And Juan, tell me, I'm fascinated to ask you your opinion between the difference between being a business owner versus a business operator, because a lot of people are enamored with the idea of becoming their own boss, right, and becoming an entrepreneur and following their passion, but they're not particularly interested a lot of the time in actually operating a successful difference. So a successful business. So tell me, when you look at being a successful business owner versus being an operator, what do you think of?
Yeah, so for me, and it is a vast difference. And kind of to touch on a point that you mentioned, early in your thought there, Kevin. A lot of people have this glamorized opinion on entrepreneurship and being your own boss and being a business owner, when in fact, and more times than not, entrepreneur or business owner, and those are two separate things. But you work probably more than the average 9 to 5 person. Honestly, you really do. And a lot of people, they don't realize, and that kind of can scare them when you're in charge of your own income. You're in the driver's seat of your livelihood, and that's a lot for some people. And you have to go get it every single day. There's no you clocking into a job and being able to get a paycheck and go work 8 hours. Somebody tell you this is the formula. No, you got to figure it out. You have to always be educating yourself. I always tell people all the time, being a business owner, you're constantly learning and trying to stay on top, because the minute you take your foot off the pedal, your competition can get a leg up on you, and that can be the end of your business. So it's a constant wheel of you always trying to be better, always trying to stay on top, seeing the trend, seeing what's going on, seeing how you can always be 1% better every single day.
Yeah, absolutely. And why don't you tell me, I'm curious to get your definition of what does it mean to have business tenacity? What does that mean to you?
Yeah, business tenacity, it's important in my opinion, right? I think a lot of times, and we were just talking about this right now, Kevin, like a lot of times people, they want the easy route, right? They want to get rich quick. They want to hit this one little thing that they can do, or this simple little trick, or this simple little hack, and they want to apply 1 hour or whatever and be able to be a multi-millionaire. Well, I'm sorry to inform you, but it doesn't work that way. Like you have to be tenacious, and you have to be so you have to want it, and you have to see what a lot of times nobody else can see. Most business owners would tell you, a lot of people thought they were crazy, or a lot of people didn't believe in their vision, or didn't believe in what they were doing. But it's so important to be able to see again what nobody else sees. And tenacity, in my opinion, in business is like it's a non-negotiable, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. And one, I know that you work with people to develop the tools necessary in order for them to successfully sort of fund their business. So tell me about having the tools to successfully and effectively fund a business.
Yeah, so like I was saying, Kevin, it starts with your personal credit, right? So, a lot of people, they have the wrong interpretation of credit cards. A lot of times, we were taught growing up, that credit cards are bad, or you're not supposed to use them, or cash is king, all these different myths. And first, we have to get out of that habit, and we have to learn how to have credit cards working for us. And what I mean when I say that is being able to leverage the money that you're already spending, that you have to spend anyway, and then be able to leverage that money and have those credit cards be your middleman, and then you learning to pay those off in full at the end of the month. I always tell people, if it's not in your bank account, then you shouldn't spend it. Credit cards, a lot of times people think it's extra money. No, and it's an extension of your bank account. That's all it is. So you should not use your credit cards unless that money is not in your bank account, or it's not going to be in your bank account guaranteed by the time that it's time for you to pay that bill in full. So we have a big saying here in my community: no interest is what we harp on. It's what we teach. It's what we preach. And we don't believe in paying a dime of interest to these credit card companies. We're in the business of getting credit card points and those type of things. And so that's where we start off. You have to learn to leverage personal credit first. And what happens is, Kevin, you become favorable with these different lenders and stuff like that. And it makes it so much more easy to go get business credit cards when on the personal side, they already have a relationship with you on that side, and they see your good habits. They see you pay on time. They see you pay in full. They see, all the positive activity that you have on your accounts. Then they're going to have no problem giving you 0% APR business lines of credit to fund your business.
And one, it's liberating to pay off a credit card, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is. Absolutely.
And but tell me, what's the number one reason you think that a good business idea tends to fail? What's the number one reason businesses tend to fail in your mind?
I think it's two things. One, the number one reason is lack of funding. That's first and foremost. But also, I think too is a lack of research. A lot of times, people they might just see somebody else's success, or they see whatever that they see. You're online, just you see an ad or something like that, or you see whatever like. You see somebody else's success. That doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to have that same success as well, because a lot of people they fail to replicate what that particular person that they see. They can't replicate what trials and tribulations and hurdles they went through and had to jump and cross to get to where they're at, at the present time, right? So I think, lack of research, really doing your due diligence on a business idea, seeing, doing competitor research and analysis on the market, and seeing does your idea, does your product, does your service, whatever it is, does it have product market fit for your potential market? Is it something that the market needs? Right. So I think a lot of people always miss that part. And then obviously, like I said, lack of funding, that just tried and true statistics prove that's the number one reason businesses fail is lack of funding or lack of startup capital.
Yeah, and tell me your thoughts on what it means to be fiscally responsible when we run a business.
I think it's very important. Your business is going to fail if you're not fiscally responsible with the funds that are coming in. A lot of times people, say they do start to get, find some early success in their business. Maybe they get to that first a milestone. Maybe it's 10,000 a month for you or whoever. That's usually like the first big milestone for people in the business is 10K a month. And a lot of people they might hit that and think they made it, like, oh, I'm rich now. Like, no, you're kind of just getting started, right? And a lot of people fail to realize that, hey, in business, nobody's taking your taxes out right at the like a W-2 job would. They're not just taking the taxes out, so you do have to set aside, depending on your state and your particular uh structure and stuff like that of the business, you do have to set aside anywhere from 20 to 40% of the funds that are coming in for tax purposes. And then you do also have to set aside funds to grow and scale and all these type of things, right? So people they fail to realize this stuff. And that's how, people tend to get into trouble, is because, maybe they do start to get some success in their business. Then they start withdrawing all of that capital away from the business to their personal self. And now when maybe a bump in the road comes or an opportunity comes where you can level up and scale and grow, you don't have the funds because, as the owner, you're just taking everything away from the business and in fact, you should be pouring back into the business, trying to get it to the next level up.
Yeah, and tell me, what does it mean to you to sort of ethically hack a business and set a business up to hack a bank? Sorry,
Mm-hmm.
what does it mean to you to sort of set a business up for a financial success?
Yeah, so in my mentorship, obviously, we do coach this. So we first start with optimizing your credit profile. So you've heard me talk a lot about, Kevin, you know, personal credit, right? That's so important, especially in our strategy and how we do things. So first we start there. Make sure that your credit profile is optimized, ready to go. A lot of times people they don't even really know a lot of the different methods and different FICO scores that lenders use to be able to assess your credit report. So that's one of the first things that we do. And then from there, a lot of people don't know banks pull different credit bureaus based on your region. So that's another thing that we do. We provide all of our mentorship students all of these backdoor algorithms that lenders have used. These are things that it took me 5, 7, 8 years to learn. I'm pouring it right into our students in the mentorship program that we have, and they're getting access to all this stuff right away, so they have all this information, and then from there, once your personal credit, and to give you a number, Kevin, 680 is like a great starting point for where you could start to get business credit cards and business capital. A lot of people think it's you got to have this super high credit score, 800 plus. It's really not necessary. 680 is like a great starting point. Then you can work up from there. But once that is in place, Kevin, then we start to get business credit cards, and we're specifically going after 0% APR cards, because there's nothing more powerful than having 0% interest funds to grow your business, and getting that capital. And again, anybody can do this. Anybody can find this out, that business, this method, this strategy, it's faster than business loans. It's faster than investors. It's faster than all these type of things. And I want people to realize that there's literally a fast, easy method to funding your business. You just don't know about it.
Yeah, and when we talk about working with green entrepreneurs, people that don't necessarily have a large business background in running a business, I'm curious of how you help them sort of avoid what I call the business a sales pitch of banks, where once they know you're a new entrepreneur, they try to upsell you, right? All these different credit cards and all these different promotions. So how do you work with people to sort of avoid those business pitfalls and avoid falling victim to temptation?
Yeah. So strategy, game plan. That's how you beat that every single time, Kevin. We don't do nothing that's not in the game plan and the strategy. So before we even start doing anything, we set forth a blueprint and a game plan. This is how we're going to do things. We set a plan A, a plan B, a plan C, and a plan D usually, and we're going to follow that blueprint to the T. So there's no room for any detours, or I want to say detours, but there's no room for any backdoor routes opening up that can lead you astray. No, we have set forth this strategy, this blueprint, this game plan, this roadmap to your success in getting this capital. And so once we set that up, we make sure that it's kind of tunnel vision, blinders on, and we're heading straight to whatever your capital goals and needs are.
Yeah, absolutely. And LaJuan, I don't know if you knew this, but next month, October, is actually National Disability Employment Awareness Month, and it's important to me, buddy, because I work with businesses to encourage them to hire folks with disabilities. I was actually born with a cerebral palsy myself, so I'm personally invested in making sure that entrepreneurs hire folks with disabilities. So when you look at forming an inclusive business and infusing folks with disabilities into entrepreneurship, what do you think of, Bonnie?
Yeah, I think that's so important, and I love your story, Kevin. For me personally, my oldest daughter, she is on a spectrum for autism. So I take special needs disability. I take that stuff very seriously. It's close to home for me. So anything I can do as an individual first, but then also as a business owner, to empower people that don't get opportunities elsewhere. I'm open door for it. I'm always looking for opportunities to do that. Again, just because, like with my own daughter, it's in my own household of a special needs child, and all the tribulations and trials that brings. So I'm aware of that, and again, I'm front and center for equality and inclusion of people with special needs and disabilities in the workplace first, and then also empowering them to have businesses and stuff like that, because a lot of people with this they're no different than us. They have great ideas, they have great passions, they have great drive, they have great things that they can do for the world in the form of business, and doing that, they just need an opportunity, right? So who am I, who should anybody else be to not give them the opportunity to do that and to show what they can do.
Yeah, absolutely. And we talked earlier about the emergence of technology in business, and with a lot of people staying at home now because of the results of the pandemic, people have
Mhm.
started their own businesses at historic rates. So tell me about how technology has made a business sort of simpler and entice more people to open their own businesses.
Yeah, me personally, I love it. For me, and having a mainly online business, it's everything. The technology runs my entire business, front to center. It's the brains of the operation. Any however you want to put it, it's there, right? So, and I think that's for a lot of businesses, and obviously the pandemic, I feel, um sped that process up for a lot of businesses, especially brick and mortar service based mainly businesses that maybe were opposed to being online, or they were kind of getting into it, but they weren't full throttle yet. The pandemic, I feel, has forced a lot of businesses to really having to embrace being online, and all the technology that comes with that, right? So, and that could be a scary thing for a lot of people that are so used to brick and mortar, word of mouth, and all those things that that it could be scary. But unfortunately, and for some, it's great that we have transitioned to a mainly online space, and you simply have to be online to, I would say 95% of the time. I think you have to be online to really grow a business, and to really get it to where you need to be more times than not.
Yeah, buddy, and I have to tell you, when I'm not hosting a podcast, buddy, I originally went to school to become a sports reporter, buddy. So tell me about your love of sports, and what are you most excited about as we enter basketball season, and we're in the middle of football season, buddy. So tell me about how much you have a passion for sports and anything else you like to do outside of work, buddy.
Yeah, so I'm a big sports fan. Obviously, the NFL season is in partaking place right now, so that is great. Me personally, I'm a big NBA fan as well. So my team is the Memphis Grizzlies, big John Morant fan. So I'm excited to see what they do this upcoming season. And just from a general fan perspective, I do live in Las Vegas, so it's neat how Vegas is getting all of these professional teams. Obviously, the Las Vegas Aces, they just won the championship, so it's been great experiencing that, and seeing all the success that they brought to the city. And we have the Raiders here now as well, along with the Golden Knights, who they were in the Stanley Cup. They didn't win, unfortunately, but they were in the Stanley Cup their first year as an expansion team. So as a whole, for the city of Las Vegas, has been great having a lot of professional teams in the town. And obviously there's talk of more to come.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the things that I am personally passionate about is sort of celebrating wins in life, no matter how big or small, buddy. So tell me, how important is it for you to celebrate the wins that you have in life and in business, and how much of an emphasis you sort of put on celebrating the victories that you have in life?
Yeah, I think it's important, Kevin. I think a lot of times people there, they get so locked in, and I do this too. You get so locked in to growing your business, to working, and like I said, being 1% better every day, and you forget to, sometimes you do gotta get out, you gotta enjoy the fruits of your labor, spend some time with your loved ones, your friends, your family, all that type of stuff. So I think sometimes, for the really focused people, you that kind of falls by the wayside, and those relationships can tarnish over time as you're trying to grow and scale your business, especially when you start to have some success and you're really trying to pour back in. But we do have to take some time away and enjoy ourselves and enjoy a little bit of the fruits of our labor, and spend time with our friends and family. And like I said, because at the end of the day, I think that's what we all started a business for, is to have eventually that freedom to do what you want, when you want, how you want. And for some people, I think they lose sight of that as they're trying to grow and scale their business. So it's definitely important to take time away, phone off, no computer, no internet. You just, you're with your friends, your family, or whatever is close to you. Is definitely important to do that.
And as an entrepreneur, LaJuan, I'm curious about your sort of opinion or perspective on the term work-life balance, because you talk about scaling a business and business burnout. So do you think there's a distinction between work-life balance, or do you just think that life is sort of something you have to manage?
I think you definitely need it for sure. Like I said, and it's kind of getting back to the point I was just making, about spending time with your family and friends and stuff like that, because that work-life balance, it can really take a toll on your family, your household, and all that type of stuff. So again, I'll reiterate, like, you have to have some type of balance. Like, you can't just be, as Rihanna says, work, 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 right? Like, it has to be some type of balance to what you're doing. And you gotta take some time to spend, and keep nourishing personal relationships, and whether that be your family, your kids, your significant other, friends, family, whatever that might be. Like, you have to still take time out to do that, and also give yourself a break. Like, you can have brain overload, that what you were alluding to, Kevin, business burnout and all that type of stuff. That's real. So you do have to take time away, kind of shut your brain off, get away from it for maybe a couple hours a day, weekend, even, and just kind of unplug. And a lot of times when you do that, you come back, your mind is fresh, you got a lot of fresh ideas, you're kind of ready to get back into it. And I think it's a healthy thing for anybody.
Yeah, and one, I know that business mentorship is important to you. So tell me, what do you think of when you think of an effective business mentor? And are there some principles or sort of tips that you give to the entrepreneurs that you mentor?
Yeah, I think for me, and this is such a big thing now, there's a lot of coaches and consultants and, masterminds and all this type of stuff. So I think for me, what I pride myself on is always, being available to people. Anybody that I coach and mentor, that would tell you, I'll respond instantly. I always try to make myself available within reason, obviously, but I always try to make myself available to the people that I coach, because they're depending on me, and they want the information, one, but two, they are leading a goal, they're trying to get to a goal, and it's my job as their coach and mentor to help them get there, right? So I take serious pride in getting people results and getting people, to where they need to be, obviously. And takes two to tango, obviously, with that. But as long as somebody is, listening to the strategies and things that we try to implement, and they're doing their part, I'm going to check in with you every single day, get in the ring, and we're going to get you to your end goal for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I have a couple of more questions for you. The first has to do with when you look at business climate today, as it relates to sort of the world that that we're living in. Tell me, how do you think business can act as a sort of an accelerant to solve societal problems that we're dealing with today?
Yeah, I think, and especially for a lot of business that, maybe on a bigger scale, sometimes you don't realize how much reach that you have. Right. And so, you see a lot of businesses doing this, especially, when you get into like different political and, economical, things that are going on in the world. I think businesses' voice could be powerful. So I think it's important to, whatever it is that you believe in to, showcase that and, get behind, whatever vision, whatever empowerment, whatever movement that, again, your company believes in. It's important to showcase that and get behind that and, do what you need to do as a business as a whole to move that empowerment or move that vision forward.
Yeah, and one of my final question for you today, buddy, has to do with your own personal and professional legacy and how you want that to be defined.
Yeah, great question. Very deep question as well. And I think for me, I think my impact, outside of, I guess I'll start with personal first. I think for me personally, I just want to be a great dad, right? I got 2 kids, so, I want them to obviously have everything that they want and need, but then also be able to see and realize that their dad was a go-getter and, he really made it happen and, was a positive impact on the people that he interacted with on a day-to-day basis. So that's important for me. And then kind of like on the business side, I think just helping people that's like my number one thing, especially with this business credit stuff. And I think it's so important. I think it's neat that so many people have great ideas, great visions, things that they can do in the world. And again, I just want to be a massive service and a massive help and be able to impact my knowledge and do things that I've already seen successful. I've done them myself and other people have done them. So I just want to get more and more people and show them this method that they can fund their business very easily, with new strategies. It doesn't have to be hard, doesn't have to be this drawn out process. You don't have to, have all these documentation, all this stuff that you're used to with business loans, stuff like that. I just want to let people know that, there's a faster way and that I'm here to help. And that, again, on the business side, that is, what my legacy I would like to be is just helping people get that business capital and, being able to change their lives.
Yeah, absolutely. And LaJuan, tell me if people want to get connected with the great work that you do, buddy. What's the best and most effective way they can do that?
Yeah, so you can head over to my website, omnigrowthstrategy.com //podcast. And so once you go to that link, I have a free training that I put together where you'll be able to go ahead and, once you opt in, you'll see that free training. It's, more in detail about what business capital and business credit actually is, how we can be able to partner with you inside of your business to help you not only get this capital, but, be a mentor for you as you grow your business. Because a lot of times you can get the capital, but you may not know what to do with it or where to use it first or what elements of the business that you need to grow and scale or start with. So, we do help even with that as well, in that aspect of the business. So I would encourage people, if you like what you heard today, and everything like that, or you're interested, you've been looking at getting business funds for your business, go ahead, go to omnigrowthstrategy.com /podcast. You'll be able to get that free training that I put together and, go from there.
Fabulous. Well, LaJuan, I really enjoyed our conversation about business credit, financing, business diversification, and so much more, buddy. Your work in the space and time on my behalf is most appreciated, buddy. I have to let you know that you're my last podcast of the week, bud, and I couldn't think of a better way to end my week than having a conversation with you, buddy. So I really want to thank you for being here and for the time. It's most appreciated.
Yeah, I appreciate you as well, Kevin. And I appreciate you inviting me on. It's a pleasure.